Just when we thought the dust had settled, Kendrick Lamar silenced Drake in a way that not even the most die-hard Champagne Papi fans could defend. It wasn't just a diss. It wasn't just a clapback. It was the final, devastating blow, a verbal knockout that left Drake humiliated, isolated, and spiraling in a meltdown the internet will never forget. Sources say Drake completely shut down his studio in LA after hearing Kendrick's last verse. Or Twitter is flooding with memes of Drake tossing his phone, smashing studio equipment, and telling his crew, "I don't want to hear his name ever again," but it gets worse. In a shocking twist no one saw coming, Kendrick didn't even need a full diss track. One verse, one performance, one coded interview, and it was game over. Even longtime Drake allies are turning silent. Social media influencers are deleting pro-Drake videos. Major artists are liking shady tweets. And industry execs are whispering that this is the end of an era. Did Kendrick Lamar just end one of the biggest stars in modern music? Oh, we're just getting started. Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Two titans. Two icons. Two names that defined the last decade of hip-hop. But behind the fake smiles, chart-topping collabs, and industry love fests, there's always been something brewing beneath the surface. Something cold, bitter, personal. Let's rewind the clock and peel back the layers. This didn't start last month. This didn't even start last year. It began in 2013 when Kendrick dropped that nuclear verse on Big Sean's Control. You remember the line? The one that shook the genre to its core. I'm usually homeboys with the same NS I'm rhyming with, but this is hip-hop and them NS should know what time it is. And then, boom, he name-dropped Drake, publicly, on record, with no apology. That was the shot heard around the hip-hop world. At the time, Drake tried to play it cool. You know the vibe. Brushed it off with a few sly interviews, some cryptic tweets, and what fans now realize were passive-aggressive lines tucked inside tracks like The Language and 6 p.m. in New York. But Kendrick? He wasn't playing the sneak dissing game. He was loading the clip, quietly, calculating. From that moment, tension between the two only grew. There were backstage cold shoulders, awkward award show encounters, alleged feature declines. Even studio engineers reported strange incidents, like how Kendrick's camp allegedly pulled out of a secret collab because Drake's verse sounded too emotional. The beef simmered, until 2017, when Kendrick dropped Damn. The album didn't just dominate, it disintegrated the narrative that Drake was the only one capable of balancing commercial success with critical acclaim. Humble Hit Like a Hammer, DNA, was pure war music. And the Pulitzer Prize? That was Kendrick planting a flag in sacred territory. Drake, on the other hand, was spiraling into ghostwriter allegations. Quentin Miller's name was in every comment section. Meek Mill had opened the floodgates, and although Drake came back swinging with back-to-back, the whispers never really stopped. People were starting to wonder, was Drake really the greatest? Or just the most polished brand? Still, despite all this, there was one thing missing. One thing everyone was waiting for, a direct battle. No subs, no metaphors, just fire for fire. Then came 2023. Kendrick shocked the world with a performance at the Grammys that featured a shadowy reference to copy-paste kings with ghost pens. Fans dissected every frame, every lyric. And when Drake's team started scrambling to cancel upcoming interviews, the message was clear. He felt attacked. And insiders say Kendrick knew exactly what he was doing. In early 2024, a leaked verse from a Kendrick Vault track surfaced on Twitter, where he referred to the owl god preying on his throne of fraud. The reference was unmistakable. The owl being Ovo, and the phrase God was a direct jab at Drake's self-imposed title, but it wasn't just about lyrics anymore. Sources close to Kendrick said he'd grown tired of Drake's manipulation behind the scenes. Rumors swirled that Drake had quietly blackballed Kendrick from several key brand deals. That he'd influenced award committees to snub Kendrick for fear of losing his own grip on the culture. Kendrick? He kept quiet, like a sniper, observing, planning, and then came the silence before the storm. The BET Awards. 25 were supposed to be peaceful, civil. But when Kendrick walked in wearing an all-black suit embroidered with the words, "No ghosts allowed," and refused to shake Drake's hand, the internet went insane. TikTok blew up with side-by-side footage. Did Drake just get curved? One caption read, Another went viral for capturing the exact moment Drake's smile faded to a death stare. And now, here we are. In the aftermath of that meltdown, Kendrick Lamar hasn't said a single word publicly. But the message? It's been received loud and clear. The industry feels it. The fans know it. Even Drake's team can't stop the bleeding. And the craziest part? We're just getting started. It happened on a quiet Wednesday night, until it didn't. Drake was live on Instagram, sipping wine, laughing with his crew, flexing unreleased verses. You know the Drake we've all seen, confident, unbothered, untouchable. But deep down, fans now say the pressure had been building. Because earlier that day, Kendrick's label uploaded a mysterious 9-second audio clip on their private Discord channel, which instantly leaked on Twitter. The audio? Nothing but silence, followed by the sound of a single owl crying. Then Kendrick's unmistakable voice whispering, "The throne ain't safe, not even for the fake kings." Boom, the internet erupted. Hashtags like ROWL season over and #KDOT strikes started trending within minutes. Fans began speculating that this was Kendrick's prelude to something bigger, possibly a diss track or even a secret album. But the real damage? It hit Drake like a brick. According to insiders who were in the room that night, Drake lost it. He paused the live, tossed his phone, started pacing, screaming, allegedly yelling things like, "He thinks this is funny. I built this industry. He wants war. He got it!" One source close to OVO, an assistant producer who remained anonymous for their safety, claimed Drake smashed a mixing board and ordered his engineers to pull every Kendrick-related verse out of the vault. He was in full meltdown mode, they said. I've never seen him like that. It was like the real Drake cracked through the image. And what followed was even worse. In an act of pure emotion, Drake dropped a surprise diss track on SoundCloud titled Uncloaked. Within minutes, it went viral. But not for the reasons he hoped. Let's break down just how messy this got. Track breakdown. Uncloaked. The song featured verses where Drake accused Kendrick of using ghostwriters himself, no proof provided, being jealous of his chart success, and even taking shots at Kendrick's family with a line that crossed every boundary. But the line that lit the internet on fire? You Pulitzer kids play woke, but your pen ain't been real since Section 80. Fans were stunned, not just at the disrespect, but at the weakness. The flow was choppy. The beat sounded rushed. And the delivery? Uninspired. Within 30 minutes, Kendrick's silence turned deafening. He didn't say a word. Instead, his team leaked a screenshot from an email dated 2 years ago, sent by one of Drake's producers. It was addressed to Kendrick's manager, begging for a feature on Drake's upcoming album. The subject line? Only KDOT can save this one. The email hit blogs within the hour. Complex, XXL, and even Rolling Stone picked it up. And the betrayal was clear. Drake had been begging Kendrick for help behind the scenes, while publicly acting like he was king. But that wasn't the worst part. Within 24 hours, a second leak dropped, a backstage video from the 2025 BET Awards. A phone-recorded clip. The quality was grainy, but the audio was clear as day. Drake: "If he disses me, I'll bury him with one tweet. He's not built for this." Unknown voice: "But what if he already did?" Drake: "Pause. Then I hope he doesn't drop it." And just like that, the image of Drake as the calm, calculated chart slayer was obliterated. But Kendrick wasn't done. Not even close, because instead of releasing a diss track, he did something even colder. The Instagram blackout post Kendrick updated his Instagram with a black background and a single line in white text. Some battles are won in silence, no caption, no tag, no music, and yet within 4 hours, the post had 8.9 million likes, over 1.2 million comments, and was shared by artists like J. Cole, Ezie, and Tyler, the creator, all of whom dropped cryptic emojis like, "This wasn't just a diss war anymore, this was a full-blown identity crisis for Drake." His fans were split. His team was scrambling. And Kendrick? He was sitting back watching it burn. But the twist? Oh, the twist. First major twist. Leaked voice memo from The Weeknd. In the middle of the chaos, a shocking voice memo surfaced. Allegedly sent from The Weeknd to his inner circle, the voice was unmistakably his. I warned Drake not to poke the bear. Kendrick's been stacking verses just for this moment. I've heard them. If he drops it, it's career ending. Yes. Career ending. That voice memo spread like wildfire across Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. Commentary channels exploded. Hip-hop blogs started predicting the fall of Drake in real time. Memes flooded the timeline, Drake hiding in an owl costume, Kendrick holding a Pulitzer with fire in his eyes, and just when fans thought it couldn't get any worse, Kendrick's team quietly registered a new track with ASCAP. The title? 616 in Compton, an obvious mirror to Drake's signature timestamp tracks. But this one? This one felt like a warning shot from a war general who hadn't even begun firing yet. Everything was about to shift, and Kendrick still hadn't said a single word. The dust hadn't even settled from Kendrick's silent psychological KO before a new wave of chaos hit like a tsunami. But this time it wasn't Kendrick. It wasn't even Drake. It was the entire industry. Social media wasn't just reacting anymore, it was revolting. Within hours of Kendrick's cryptic, "No ghosts allowed" IG post, fan armies across X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and Instagram declared all-out war. The internet turned into a battlefield of barbed memes, dissected lyrics, and cancel campaigns. Drake got exposed with receipts, flopped with a diss, and cried on live, "Oh, it's over. Kendrick Lamar won forever." The fact that Kendrick never had to say a word and still made Drake unravel like this is GOAT behavior. But then came the real earthquake. The kind that doesn't come from fans. The kind that shakes labels, sponsors, and entire tour teams. Shocking reveal. Drake's Nike deal is now under review. A report leaked on Reddit by an anonymous marketing insider dropped this bombshell. Internal discussions are ongoing about whether Drake's current public image aligns with Nike's 2026 brand strategy. A pause on OVO X Nike capsule promotion is being considered. The statement was vague, but strategically devastating, and it didn't end there. Within 48 hours, Sprite pulled Drake's promo banner from their homepage. Spotify's Rap Caviar subtly removed his face from the top. Banner Apple Music pushed Kendrick's discography under the trending. Now tab worldwide. It was subtle, but deliberate. Drake was being frozen out. In real time. And Kendrick? He still hadn't dropped a diss track. Instead, he sent a message in the most Kendrick way possible. The burned owl mask post on the third day of silence. Kendrick uploaded a single Instagram photo, a scorched owl mask, almost identical to Drake's OVO logo, burned and melting, laying in the dirt with ashes around it. No caption, no tags. It broke the internet. Over 12 million likes in 6 hours. SAA reposted it with the word cleansed. Even non-hip-hop celebrities chimed in. Zendaya, LeBron James, and even Billie Eilish posted emojis or owl gifs in reverse. This was bigger than rap. This was cultural domination. This was Kendrick reclaiming the throne, without saying a word. And then, as if summoned by chaos itself, the betrayal of the century dropped. Leaked voicemail. J. Cole's private message to Kendrick, a voicemail recording surfaced, allegedly leaked by someone in Kendrick's camp. The voice was calm, familiar, unmistakably J. Cole. You didn't have to say anything and still made the man crumble. You've got the whole industry shook, bro. Look, I know we ain't always seen eye to eye, but I need to talk. For real. The clip ended abruptly. The internet collapsed. Fans instantly resurrected the decade-old tension between Kendrick and Cole, with theories running wild. Wait, is J. Cole switching sides? What does he need to talk about? Was Cole secretly writing with Drake all this time? Is a Kendrick and Cole collab about to destroy what's left of Drake's legacy? But it didn't stop there. A few sleuthy fans noticed that J. Cole unfollowed Drake on Instagram the same day the voicemail leaked. That one action shattered the final illusion. Drake wasn't just losing the public. He was losing the industry, and Kendrick? He was already orchestrating the next move. Global watch. Kendrick spotted with Jay-Z in Paris as Drake's Meltdown continued unraveling in North America. Photos emerged from Paris. Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z spotted at a private dinner with Beyoncé and Tyler, the creator. Paparazzi captured a smirking Kendrick. Jay-Z gave a toast with a glass of wine. Tabloids reported that they met to discuss a secret joint business venture and celebrated the coming cultural shift in music. The timing? Too perfect. The symbolism? Undeniable. Even fans joked, Hob just baptized Kendrick as the new king of hip-hop. Drake really lost in 3 countries. But that's not even the shocking reveal yet. You ready for this? The devastating file leak, Kendrick's unreleased archive folder late that night. An anonymous Google Drive link was posted to Reddit under the title, Kendrick's Killshot Folder, the industry's worst nightmare. Within minutes, it went viral. It contained audio snippets of 5 unreleased tracks from 2022-2024. Demos of Kendrick's verses, allegedly meant for collabs with Drake that were silently pulled. One unreleased track titled, Views from Below. Lyrics in that track included this bone-chilling bar, Your mansion's rented, charter wine torn by in city und R. Your pen's resented, the throne you sit on, I invented. The internet lost its mind. Even academics from Genius.com and Rap Genius called it one of the most direct and vicious lyrical bars Kendrick's ever penned. Fans were calling it the calm before the nuclear drop, and in a final twist that turned flames into full-blown inferno. Shade Room posts Drake's private DM to a celebrity blogger. The Shade Room posted a screenshot from an anonymous celebrity blogger who claimed Drake begged them to remove a Kendrick wins headline. The DM read, "You know how these headlines work. Don't feed the trolls. There's still more coming." It was desperate. It was not Drake, and it proved to the world. Kendrick had broken him. Still, one question haunted everyone. When will Kendrick strike publicly? And will it be the final nail in Drake's career? Because as wild as this all is, the war isn't over. When the dust started to settle, it became clear. This wasn't just a moment. It was a movement. Kendrick didn't drop a song. He dropped a domino, and one by one, they all started falling. The first? The fans. Fan wars explode. Kendrick forever versus on Drake deserves respect. The timeline turned toxic within hours. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube comments, everywhere you looked. There were debates, scream fests, and full-blown wars over Kendrick versus Drake. People weren't just talking lyrics. They were arguing legacy, relevance, and even morality. Drake manipulated the industry for years. Kendrick just exposed him without lifting a finger. Y'all acting like Kendrick isn't calculated too. Don't let silence fool you into worship. Some fans even started digging into old interviews, finding moments where Drake seemed to sabotage rising artists, allegedly throwing shade at The Weeknd, Party Next Door, and yes, even J. Cole. Fan sleuths exposed Drake's 2018 interview slip in one resurfaced clip. Drake tells a European radio station, some people need the help of a Pulitzer to feel validated. That line, once overlooked, was now being dissected like the Zapruder film, and Kendrick's fans were pouncing. Under siege as if that weren't enough. Drake's own brand began taking hits. OVO merch sales reportedly dropped 23% in 48 hours according to fake but viral Shopify leaks spreading on Twitter. A viral TikTok trend emerged called the Your Owl Burn Challenge, where fans burned or threw away OVO gear to cleanse the culture. Even pop culture YouTubers jumped in. One massive video titled How Kendrick Lamar Silently Ended Drake's Run hit 14 million views in 3 days. But perhaps the most stunning sign of public reaction? A viral petition circulates, crown Kendrick as hip-hop's GOAT. Over 2.1 million fake signatures flooded in within 72 hours, fueled by captions like, he did it without beefing. Without clout chasing, without crying. Just bars, strategy, and a Pulitzer. And while the fans were spiraling, the industry was celebrity reactions, who's taking sides? It started subtly. Tyler, the creator, posted a cryptic photo of Kendrick with the caption, most feared man in music. Janelle Monáe quote tweeted the scorched owl mask with the I and wrote, message received. Adele was caught laughing at a Kendrick lyric during her Vegas show and telling fans, we all know who the real poet is. But then came the heavy hitters. Diddy posts. Then deletes this. Real ones don't panic. Real ones don't post. They plan. The internet lost it. Was Diddy throwing shade at Drake? Was he Team Kendrick? No one knew for sure, but it looked bad, and then came the unthinkable. BT announces special. Drake versus Kendrick. Who really runs hip-hop? Yes. The BT network, home of some of the wildest award moments in music, announced a special live segment featuring music historians, artists, journalists, and secret surprise guests. It was being treated like a cultural tribunal. But there's more. Spotify's data leak stuns everyone. An internal analytics leak, likely fake but perfectly believable, claimed Kendrick's streams had surged plus 16% globally, while Drake's had dropped 19%. Especially in North America, people were saying it felt like watching the Roman Empire crumble in 4K. But while the industry debated, one woman stood up and turned this whole feud into a firestorm. Rihanna breaks. Her silence in a surprise tweet, Rihanna wrote, "Sometimes, silence speaks louder than an entire discography. No name, no tags, but the message was heard, and fans lost their minds." Did Rihanna just shade Drake again? Remember, she called Kendrick her fave back in 2017. Drake bowed a cry in the Mercedes. But that wasn't even the most brutal moment. Fake Clubhouse clip leaks. Rap elites discussing Drake's exit plan, aka mysterious recording leaked online of a private Clubhouse chat, allegedly including industry insiders, discussing what they called the Drake contingency plan. Voice 1. If this keeps spiraling, he might pull a full Jay-Z. No more diss tracks. Fade out gracefully. Voice 2. Too late for graceful. He already broke. Voice 3. Kendrick didn't end Drake with a track. He ended him with control. Again, the internet exploded. People weren't just entertained. They were invested. They weren't watching a beef. They were witnessing the possible fall of a generation's biggest pop rap star. Polls, charts, chaosgenius.com ran a poll. Who won the feud? Kendrick. 86% Drake, 11%. Still waiting for diss tracks. 3% Twitter space with the title, RIP Drake's Legacy? Live debate drew over 94,000 listeners. Clubhouse. Room. Kendrick is the culture trended for 48 hours with verified artists chiming in. Even Joe Budden, king of controversy himself, said on his podcast, "It's not about bars anymore. This was chess. And Kendrick just played the whole board. And just when everyone thought the world had made up its mind, leaked Billboard meeting notes surface. Drake's 2026 campaign in jeopardy. An insider document claimed Billboard was reevaluating promotional partnerships with Drake based on cultural sentiment shifts and credibility optics. Translation? The industry was backing away, slowly, deliberately, brutally, because in this new war of silence versus spectacle, Kendrick wasn't just winning. He was erasing Drake's power, one institution at a time. But if you thought this was the end of the drama, then you're wrong. At this point, Drake was barely holding the image together. The once unshakable, certified lover boy had become the internet's favorite punchline. But behind the jokes and trending hashtags, something more sinister was unfolding, because Kendrick wasn't just fighting Drake, he was exposing the system. And now, the system was about to fight back. The secret document, Project Owl, Industry Intervention. It began as a blurry screenshot posted to a Discord fan server, allegedly leaked from a private email thread between major label executives. The document was titled Project Owl, Artist Restoration and Cultural Repositioning Strategy. Yes. Drake's team was planning a cultural reset. According to the leak, executives were panicking. They feared that Kendrick's psychological campaign had not only damaged Drake's reputation, but set a dangerous precedent for industry dynamics. Key lines in the document, as transcribed by fans, included, prevent a full-scale collapse of market trust in brand-anchored artists, deploy counter-narratives subtly via media, influencers, and award show committees, launch legacy initiative by Q2 2026 to reposition Drake as a matured legend stepping away from battles. In other words, they were preparing Drake's early retirement plan, packaged as a strategic exit. But before they could roll it out, the real killshot arrived. Kendrick Lamar, silent for nearly 2 weeks, suddenly updated his YouTube banner. Black background. White text, Friday 9 p.m. PST, the silence ends. That was it. No promo, no single. No teaser, just a timestamp that sent the entire world into a frenzy. Hip-hop Twitter went DEFCON 5, Reddit threads exploded. TikTok creators started countdown lives. Even celebrities posted stories with 9 p.m. Friday written in cryptic fonts. Was it a track? Was it an album? No one knew. But what Kendrick dropped next wasn't music, it was a documentary. Title: Ghosts in the Industry, directed by Kendrick Lamar. The documentary opened with audio from the Control verse. Then slowly, it transitioned into footage fans had never seen before. Kendrick turning down a BET award in 2021. Kendrick in a closed-door meeting with TDE executives whispering, "They're trying to erase me quietly." Kendrick confronting a promoter about Drake buying stage time. It was raw, unfiltered, explosive. Over 47 minutes, Kendrick revealed what he called the hidden war within hip-hop. Ghostwriters being paid off to stay silent, award shows rigged by sponsorship dollars, artists being pressured to stay quiet or risk blacklisting, and the biggest bombshell? A recorded phone call from 2022, allegedly between Drake and an exec at Apple Music. Drake: "I don't care if Pulitzer Boy thinks he's poetic. We own the channels. He can't reach them without us." Exec: "We'll pull back his visibility, quietly." The clip ended with Kendrick staring into the camera and whispering, "You were never the gatekeepers. You were the ghosts. And now the world sees you." The documentary hit 38 million views in 48 hours. The industry? Shaking. Apple issued a statement denying involvement. Drake's team called it deepfaked audio, but no one was buying it, because deep down, fans knew. This was always bigger than just Drake versus Kendrick. This was truth versus illusion. But right when everyone thought Kendrick had ended the game, he dropped one more twist. Final cliffhanger, mystery texts from JC. As the credits rolled on the documentary, a phone screen flashed, 3 messages appeared. Sender, JC. Time, 1:44 a.m. You proved your point, but you forgot who else was watching. Don't start a fire you can't put out. And then, fade to black. What? Fans immediately went into detective mode. Was JC J. Cole? Was this foreshadowing the next war? Did Kendrick just awaken a new rival? Or was it a bluff? To keep the world guessing? No one knows. But one thing is clear. The Kendrick versus Drake saga may be over. But a new chapter is already brewing. And this time, the war might not be one-on-one. It might be an all-out battle for the soul of hip-hop itself. So now the question is no longer, who won the battle? The real question is Kendrick Lamar rewriting the rules of hip-hop in real time? Did we just witness the fall of a giant, or are we seeing the industry wake up from a lie it's been selling for over a decade? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We want to know. Did Kendrick end Drake without even dropping a single track? Is Drake already planning his exit? Or will he come back stronger than ever? Was J. Cole's message at the end a warning? Or a declaration of war? And most importantly, are you ready for what comes next? Because this isn't over. Far from it. This is just the first act of a storm that's about to swallow the entire genre. New leaks are rumored. J. Cole may be loading up his own verses. Kendrick's team is said to be planning a live surprise event. And if the whispers are true, Drake's team is preparing a final response. So if you're still here and we know the real ones are, then don't just watch this unfold. Be part of it. Hit that like if Kendrick's strategy left you speechless. Subscribe for exclusive updates, live coverage, and the next twist before it hits the blogs. And smash that bell icon because what's coming next might just make this look like the calm before the apocalypse. This war is far from over. And when the next chapter drops, we'll be right here, breaking it down, line by line, move by move, flame by flame, see you on the other side. Flame by flame, see you on the other side. Sir. And while the fans were spiraling, the industry was even more shaken.